catching a ton of waves is not about talent. And contrary to what most people think, surfing really well isn't about talent either. And taking it a little bit broader to apply to life in general and high performance in general in any field, it's not about talent. How did I learn this? Now, some of you may know I'm a musician. I'm a jazz musician. And that wouldn't really matter, but the reason that it does is because learning to master the guitar and learning to play it at a level that I never would have imagined myself capable as an 11-year-old when I started playing was something that changed how I see the world. And when I took it upon myself to make the decision that I wanted to reach a level of mastery that was something, again, that I had deemed not quite possible in my mind as a kid, my life changed. And it changed the way I saw what was possible and what is not possible. Now, most people think that any movie star, any musician, any athlete, any rich person that we know, that we see in the media, that we see on social media, that we see on TV, that we know about, is there because they have something special that no one else has, because they have talent that no one else has. But here's the secret that I found out from learning this great music called jazz. There was something that I came across as I went through the ranks of musicians and earned my stripes and paid my dues and went from being an uncertain young musician who wasn't confident in my abilities to someone who actually knew that I was just as good as and better than a lot of the people that were, getting all the work, that a lot of people, the people that were getting the recognition for being jazz musicians. And what I learned was this: the people with the most God-given talent, as I say, the people with the most innate ability, were often the people who did the least with that talent. And that fascinated me. I couldn't really understand that for a while. I looked at that and I looked at, these people, a keyboard player, a drummer who were just had this incredible ability to just play and play and play and play with such precision and such power. And then you talk to them, I would talk to them and I'd say, how much do you practice? Because I'm thinking, fuck, I'm practicing 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day. Every waking hour that I'm not in class, that I have time, I'm trying to practice. And sometimes they would say, well, I don't really practice. I couldn't understand it. At the time it was one of those things that just boggled my mind. I couldn't fucking understand it. And as I got to my own level of mastery, some of them would look at me and say, wow, I wish I had that kind of work ethic. I wish I had that kind of discipline that you have. And I'd say, well, I wish I had the kind of talent you had. And they'd say, well, this is just how I am. I'm just able to do this, but, and what I saw was that they lacked the fire, the passion, and the desire that the person with less talent, which was myself, less natural talent, which was myself, had. Because I had that desire, I had that passion. Now here we are, fast forward. Surfing. I am not Gabriel Medina. I'm not Jordy Smith. I'm not Kelly Slater. I didn't grow up surfing surf contests when I was 10 years old. My dad encouraged me to do whatever I wanted to do. He didn't force me to try to become a professional surfer. So I had a different path. But I was fortunate enough to understand the path of mastery in one thing can lead you to quicker results in getting to a high level in another thing. So one of the things that I can offer that's unique is how to be a high performer in your given field, whatever that may be. Because the path to high performance in any field is going to be the same. So in surfing, about 3 years ago, it was only 3 years ago, I'm 30 years old, I was 27, and I said, I'd like to do something serious with surfing. You know, I'd like to do some kind of professional surfing. You know, whether that means that I surf in some contests and have some success, or whether that means that I don't have success in contests but I'm able to do free surfing, you know, and get barreled and surf at a high level. Whatever that means, I want a piece of that. I want to do it. And so I came at it with this different perspective, you know, because I had already lived. I wasn't some kid who was, you know, the racehorse that was groomed to just surf in contests, and then when an injury happens, his life falls apart because he doesn't know what to do with himself. And that's a sad reality that I see happening so much. You know, these kids who are incredibly talented, but they don't have the context to understand that one little piece of adversity, one roadblock, isn't the end of the world. Whereas I came back to surfing after basically having taken a 5-year hiatus from surfing because I wasn't living by the ocean. My body was all fucked up. My shoulders were fucked up. My knees were fucked up. There was, you know, a list of reasons why I wasn't surfing. And I didn't know whether I was going to come back to it. And then at a trip to Puerto Escondido, I had this revelation. And I said, wow, yeah, surfing actually is something I want to be, you know, doing for the rest of my life. And you know, I started doing it when I was 11. Same time I started playing music. And I had a different view of it. I knew that now that it wasn't a question of talent, it was a question of desire, it was a question of patience, and it was a question of hard work and discipline. And that is one of the biggest things that I can share with you if you continue to listen to what I have to say, if you continue to follow my word. I can guarantee you something that no one else can guarantee you. And that is a perspective shift that you're not going to get anywhere else. And that perspective shift has to do with being high performance at whatever it is that you want to be high performance at. Because again, the path to a successful result in one thing is not technique and strategy wise, but overall concept wise the same all across the board. It's the same. You know, it takes patience, it takes discipline, it takes self-confidence, it takes you valuing yourself. That is something that we don't get taught. So from this combination of things that I, you know, grew up with and things I was taught, and also things that I came across and learned, and people that I saw and people that I learned from, and incredible, talented people, I learned that talent is not the deciding factor in success. Desire is the deciding factor. And from that funny word that doesn't get mentioned that much, from desire, at the top of the tree, you know, it's Christmas, so I might as well say the fucking Christmas tree comes down, and the other branches come out. Patience, discipline, hard work. And that's just 3 of them. You know, the list goes on and on. But desire. Desire always, always, always overrides talent. Overrides innate ability. And we all have talents. We all have innate abilities. The question is, what will you do to bring those talents out and let them thrive? And how much desire and drive do you have to succeed in the things that you're passionate about? And in the context of surfing, which is why we're here, I think that it is so important to remember that it's not the most talented people who go the farthest. It's not the most talented people who catch the most waves. It's the people who want it the most, and the people, therefore, who have the fortitude and the conviction and the desire to develop the right approach to catching the most waves, to catching the best waves. So thank you for listening, and I wish you the best in this turn of the decade, actually. And I, you know, like to always remind people that this is a very important time, these last 2 weeks of the year, because this is going to be the time that you plant the seeds, not just for the next year. This isn't just New Year. This is the beginning of a new decade. It's the beginning of a new era. And so there's like always, problems, issues, but there's an incredible, unprecedented opportunity and an energy in the world today. Can you feel that energy? What are you going to do about it? Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.